Well, hello and welcome to the open house for creating 2D. So my name is Mr. Wolf and I'm really glad that you signed up for the course. And so I'm going to try to go over some of the stuff to expect. If you weren't able to make it to open house, then no biggie. And so I'll go over a little bit of the syllabus, but I'm really looking forward to seeing you this next week because, it'll be really fun. We're going to be able to, make some really cool stuff. All right. So for those of you who don't know, I also teach digital art imaging, 1, 2, 3, and then AP 2D. And then I also teach AP art history. So that's kind of the wheelhouse. Not really sure which room is going to be on the class schedule yet. It should be room 223. That's my regular room. It's over in like the Spanish hallway. So building 200 on the lower level. There might be a chance that it's put as 201, which is the ceramics room. So I've asked them to kind of make note that it's 223, but it may not have gotten changed. In which case, whatever's on your schedule, I will be there at the beginning. One thing that's really cool is that we will have access to that room and my room. And so that's a little bit of what I want to kind of go over really quick is what is it that we're going to be doing. So basically 2D, so the second dimension, everything that's flat is our launching pad. So we're going to be making a lot of art that's based around that concept. Most of you probably are then going to sign up for the second semester, which is creating 3D. And I'll also be teaching that. And so that's going to be a lot of fun as well. But for first semester, we're going to be focusing in 2D. Basically, what I'm going to be trying to do is to give you as many mediums as possible and to see where your strengths lie and where you're most interested. So when we talk about mediums in art, we're talking about what things are made out of. And so it could be pencil, charcoal, any kind of drawing, right? It could also be stenciling, spray paint, photography, right? That's what I went to school for. That's what my concentration was. Video, even though it's, moving around in a space and you're capturing something that's 3D, it's presented in a, why is it, I don't know what it keeps doing that. It's presented in a second dimension. So 2D isn't really that limiting of a factor. It's actually a whole lot that we can do. We're obviously going to be doing some painting and some drawing and things like that. So as many different mediums as possible. But one that also I'm really excited about is that you'll be able to have access to the computer lab that I teach for digital art, where we're going to have access to Illustrator. So a lot of the things that we're going to make in a, I'm going to use air quotes to be that guy, traditional sense, we'll be able to translate into putting it onto a computer and using Illustrator. So that's a really exciting avenue. I know some of you are super interested in drawing on the computer. And then some of us might be a little bit more hesitant and might think of ourselves as only wanting to work traditionally. My goal is to see that the two of those overlap a lot and that you really can't just pigeonhole into one category, but you need to be able to sort of marriage the two. So that's the mediums that we're going to be using. The concepts, the things that we're going to be making still lives, we're going to be portraits, we're going to talk about expressionism, obviously with stencils and spray paints. We'll talk about drawing perspective, and we're going to be making comics. So we'll talk about visual narratives, lots of different ideas that we're going to be making in those mediums. Tons of artists, because I teach AP art history, I don't worry about name dropping as much as possible. We'll talk about Marutu, Picasso, Rembrandt, Goya, Banksy, of course, with some spray paint. We got Basquiat, we got Francis Bacon, we got Maya Lin, Monet. That's just a few that we're going to do. Each project, I try to show you the quote unquote masters and what they do, and then try to go and see that, you can make something that great as well. So just seeing it as a launching pad. What do you need for this class? Basically, a sketchbook is really good. Sorry if I'm going really fast. You remember to breathe. Okay, what do you need for this class? A sketchbook needs to be something that you're just going to bring to class every day and bring home every day. I'm not picky in a sense that if you really want to bring a nice big 8x10, that's great. 11x17, that's really great, but that's a really big book. And I don't want any excuses of, I left it at home, or I left it in class and then I wasn't able to go home and do the sketch. So just make it something that that you can bring to and from class every day. Sometimes those moleskins are really good. I have one, and the main point of a sketchbook isn't for the finished work. It's to be able to get the idea as quickly out of your head onto a piece of paper. If you saw something and you need to make sure you make note of it, and paper and pencil is going to be always the best way to go about that. Just try to make sure that it's not like a notebook, right, with like thin paper and college rules, because that's not the best way for a visual format. So just like thicker drawing paper is really all I'm really looking for. Okay. All right. So Lab V, we have a lot of materials. You have access to all of it, except for these color printers and the 3D printer that we have access to. Mainly just because of the cost of replenishing those things. And then instead of limiting the amount that you can print from it, if I'm able to replenish it halfway through the year or towards the end of the year so we can keep going, then I don't have to limit and monitor how much you're putting out from it. So it's not mandatory. It will not affect your grade, but if you want to have access to, say, that the color laser jet, or the inkjet printer, we have a 24-inch inkjet roll printer, and we have a 3D printer, then $10 covers you for the semester, and you can print as much as you want from that. It does not turn my class into a Kinko's, so you can't print out your math homework and do that. But if it's art related, then I will totally help you out and we will print it out. You can print out anything for this class, but if you need to make some art for a, mother's birthday, then of course that counts. So just keep that in mind. And $10 of cash is fine. Also a check made at Steinbrenner High School is perfect. Okay. Any questions about that? Please do not hesitate to ask. Again, not mandatory, doesn't affect your grade. It's just a way of taking advantage of the resources that we have. All projects are going to be based off of this rubric here. I'll go over this in great detail in the first few days because the first project will be based off of it. It's basically 3 buckets. What is it made out of? What were the ideas that we had? And then did you grow in it? Did you show that you challenged yourself and you showed growth from one project to the next? Okay. And if you don't hit one of those buckets and you want to make it up, because I took off some points because, say, it wasn't the craftsmanship that you needed, or you weren't working a couple days, or say it was not what I asked you to do, then just keep that in mind and you can do a makeup form and then you can give full credit. Nobody in this class should fail if they make artwork for me. So that fits the objectives that we need. So just keep that in mind. You can always change it. All right, so one thing that's also unique to this class is that we do have an opportunity to get certified in a program called Illustrator that I already mentioned a little bit here. Again, it's not part of the grade, it's just another opportunity for you to get something on your either resume or an application. It's really hard to prove that you're creative. Like, you can say, I'm a very creative person, but if you say that I am certified in Adobe Illustrator, it tells people that you're good at taking visuals and creating them on the computer. And I think we all know that computers are important and we're going to be using them for a while. So that's something I'll talk in more detail. You'll have access to that test. It's pretty expensive and it's free for you. So that's always a plus. Okay, I talked really fast. That was good though. One take, that was good. I'm sure you have questions. If you have any, you can message me or anything like that. Or just come to class first day and stop me in the hallway and blurt it out. Okay. But I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a really great year. And I look forward to seeing you guys and seeing what we can make this semester. It's going to be great. All right. Bye.